we are reading, we look forward to good stories. Through stories, we explore worlds of people, places, and events. Well-written stories engage us so much so that we share in their conflicts and we reflect on the resolution of these conflicts. Sometimes conflicts are left unresolved. However, we don't mind this because it is a rich experience to see life experiences related fictionally. Stories open our eyes to many situations true to life. This video will explore one of the critical elements of short story writing. In this lesson, we will identify how to develop a setting. All stories happen somewhere, at some time, and make us feel a particular way. When writers capture these features, they would have established setting. Although we are working on writing short stories, when you write, you are not limited to a single setting and the emotions that are associated with it. You may or may not change the setting. You decide. It depends on what you want to do with your events. Be cautious though. Your word limit may not allow you to develop 2 or more settings. So always make a plan before writing. When building setting, allow your description to combine both time and place. Setting is sometimes referred to as atmosphere, which is the tone or mood of a place. Setting is the background against which everything happens in a story. It determines what type of people or characters we will encounter in that place, and it sometimes forecasts what is likely to happen at that place. Therefore, it is safe to say that setting is related to character, plot, and the theme of the story. When writing, consider carefully the place and time, or where and when the events of your story will take place. Special marks are usually awarded by your examiners for well-developed setting. As you set the tone and mood through your description, try to be clear. You are setting up the story. You are really manipulating readers. You want them to think in a particular way. Describe a church in the middle of Georgetown. Set the mood well on a typical Sunday morning. So later on, when a madman enters and disturbs the atmosphere, readers understand the contrast clearly. Base your setting on a place you know. Invent details and add them to your setting. Think of a familiar place. Put yourself in that place. Close your eyes and imagine all the details around you. What can you see? Describe what you see. Now use more of your imagination and make up some interesting details about what you see. Remember, your intention is to show readers and not tell them. Do you want the details to make the setting seem dangerous, frightening, fun, safe, peaceful? Or do you want it to seem strange and imaginary? After all, a walk along an abandoned track during a bright day creates one atmosphere, but a walk along that same track on a dark, overcast night would feel very different. You can use a frightening place such as an empty house, or you can take a very ordinary place and make it seem scary by making it unusual, dark, and cold. Let your imagination be your guide. Remember, a plot is still unfolding, So do not get carried away by doing too much setting description. This can affect the pace of your story. Use real or invented names to bring places alive. Names help to make your setting more real and believable. The boy walked down a street shows us nothing, but Leonard limped down Regent Street starts to grab our attention and engage our thoughts. While building setting, introduce your characters. Who is there? Why are they there? Let's read the setting of a story and try to identify the atmosphere created and predict the events that are likely to occur in the setting. Taken from Journey by Night by Udine Kinsippi. He stood alone, leaning against a post, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. It was late, and the taxi stand was empty. The street was silent. He looked up and down, hoping that some vehicle would come in sight, for he wanted to get home. But none came. The silence began to pall. He started to whistle, but there was no merit in it, and soon he stopped. Midnight, 10 miles from home. What was he to do? To begin to walk that distance was out of the question. A dark cloud passed across the sky, hiding the few pale stars that had been there. The noise of a falling dustbin reached his ear. Some dog must have been scattering its contents. Instinctively, his hand felt for his wallet. Yes, it was still there. If only he had a stick, but he had nothing with which he might protect himself. He began to walk up and down, up and down. What was that in the distance? At last, 2 headlights were drawing near. He stepped into the middle of the street and held up his hand, and the car stopped. "Taxi?" he asked. "Valencia?" "Get in," said the driver, opening the door. He sat beside the driver, glad to be on his way home at last. He had felt so lonely while he had been waiting. If only someone would say something. In the semi-darkness of the car, he turned to look at the other passengers, but no one else was there. The driver said nothing to him as the car sped along. Suppose... No, he mustn't allow himself to think that. He glanced at the driver, and again his hand went to his wallet. He had heard of passengers being attacked at night and robbed. But surely, no, that couldn't happen to him. So far, what mood or atmosphere is created by the writer? Pause the video and share your thoughts in the comment section. The writer creates a dark, ominous and suspenseful atmosphere. Copy and complete.